What's up, everyone? This is Leon, and it is Saturday evening on January 20th, 2018, and what a glorious day it has been. I woke up this morning, had a cup of coffee, had some leftover pizza from last night as I finished the new Nicolas Cage movie Mom and Dad, which recently hit VOD, and which I highly recommend, by the way. Very enjoyable horror slash dark comedy. The Cage Rage is cranked up to about 11, which is always endearing. And then I looked out my window, and it was just this beautiful, crisp, clear Southern California day, and I decided to take a drive. I just wanted to get out of the apartment for a little while, enjoy that California sunshine on my face as I cruised the boulevards, and I was outside, and I decided I'd stop at the bookstore, It's what I do. And boy, oh boy, did I stop at the bookstore. In fact, I stopped at a total of 3 bookstores and ultimately embarked on a delirious, splurgy, book-buying odyssey, and I am here now to report back with the spoils of my pillage. Now, before I do that, I just want to say, as a collector, I buy books everywhere and anywhere. Online's great if there's that specific title you're looking for, but in my opinion, nothing beats going into the old brick and mortar used bookshop, and of course you can't really have expectations when you do it. If you go in with a long list of specific titles you're looking for, you're bound to be disappointed, But if you have zero expectations and you just hope to find some cool, interesting things that you weren't aware of, then nothing beats that, So as a book buyer, sometimes you get a little jaded, right? Sometimes I get bummed out. I think, oh man, I know everything. I know all the books that have been published. I know everything that Tor put out. I know everything that St. Martin's Press put out. But the fact of the matter is, I don't. You probably don't either. Because, these books were being published back in the day, way before the internet. They weren't really being cataloged. There's not like some grand database where you can go back and find all these titles. I'm a big researcher. I like to book sleuth online and find stuff, but the stuff that you're going to find is stuff that people have uploaded or written about or posted pictures of. And there's just so much stuff. You're not going to get it all if you're looking online. As I found out today, again, I'm always amazed. I go in there and I just find this stuff that I never even knew existed. That's the kind of stuff I like to find. Those forgotten gems that, are not being written about online. And so today, these are the books that I'm going to show you guys. So let's get started. So the first place that I went was actually a place I had never been to before. All 3 of these shops are in Orange County, California. The first one was called Book Junction, and that was in Huntington Beach. Really cool shop. As you can see, I went apeshit there. So here we go. So the first one I got there is called The Nestling by Charles L. Grant. This was published by Pocket Books in 1982. Okay, then there is The Sinister Twilight by J.S. Forrester. This one was published by Dell in 1984. And then we've got a Del Abyss title. I'm still on my Del Abyss kick. This is The Facade by Christine Catherine Rush. This was published in 1993. There will be a few more Del Abyss titles coming up that I got from a different place. Next, we've got The Evil by Hugh B. Cave. This was published by Ace Charter in 1981. Then we've got The Darkness Within by Sean MacDonald. This was published by Zebra in 1993. And next we've got Blood Shift by Garfield Reeves Stevens. This was published by Popular Library. This edition was published in 1990 by Popular Library, although it was originally published in 1981, looks like. And then, okay, I gotta make sure I'm staying on in the right order because I do prepare, a list so I can give you guys the years. This is The Summoned by Stephen Ray Fulgham. This was published by Diamond in 1991. And there's a cool review of this up on the blog, the Undivine Interventions, a cool blog that I recommend you guys check out. That's actually the first time I heard about this, and it's been on my radar. I'm glad to check that out. And then next up, we've got The Changing by F.W. Armstrong. This was published by Tor in 1985. And then we've got Brotherly Love by William D. Blankenship. This edition was published by Pocket in 1983. Looks like it was originally published in hardcover in 1981. And then got The Tribe by Barry Wood. This one was published by Signet in 1981. And here's Stinger by Robert McCammon, published by Pocket in 88. I actually had a copy of this one. I have a copy of this one, but it's really beat up. And when I saw this one in pretty good shape, I was on it, because these original Pocket editions of McCammon books, you don't come around them too often, and people charge way too much online. I got this for like $2, so. And then we've got The Pines by Robert Dunbar. Apparently this is the first in a trilogy. This is published by Leisure in 1989. And then we've got Suspicion by Julia Grice. This was published by Tor in 1992. And the last one from Book Junction in Huntington Beach, I picked up Star Baby by Robin St. Thomas. This was published by Zebra in 1994. Yeah, total of 14 books there from Book Junction. Ended up paying $34.50 for all those, but an average of like $2.50 a book. Great value. Hell of a lot cheaper than buying Blu-rays, right? Okay, the next place I went, one of my favorites, it's in Anaheim. It's called Booktown USA, and really cool shop. The proprietor, the guy who runs it, really sweet guy. I love going in there and shooting the breeze with him. Today I didn't really get a whole lot from there, but I almost feel like I gotta buy something when I go in there just to support the guy. So ended up getting Blood Dreams. I mean, just look at that lurid cover. I mean, geez. This is by Jack McLean, published by Zebra in 1989. Very striking, that cover. And I got The Keep by F. Paul Wilson, published by Berkeley in 82. Of course, this was adapted by Michael Mann into a movie that apparently he's not very proud of and wants to keep buried. I saw it a long time ago, and I remember liking it, but I don't own any F. Paul Wilson books, so I figured why not start with that one. Okay, and then afterwards, I tried to go to another bookshop that I had been to like a year or two ago called Camelot Books. I think I went to that one before, but found out that it's since turned into a dry cleaners. So couldn't get anything there. Thank God for small favors, right? Because the last place I went today, probably the place that I bought the most books from, when I'm trying to go to a bookstore in Orange County, it's Bookman in the city of Orange. And I got a lot of stuff there. So gird your loins, folks. Okay, so first thing is Abomination by Michael C. Norton. This was published by Leisure in 1987. And then we've got Come 13 by David Silva, also published by Leisure in 1988. Okay, next we've got The Moonchild by Kenneth McKinney. This was published by Avon in 1979. And then these next two, just like the McCammon, I own these, but the editions I own were a little beat up, and these were in better condition, so I picked them up. We've got Night Warriors by Graham Masterton. This was published by Tor in '87. This series has been sort of compared to A Nightmare on Elm Street, a kind of fantasy horror. It sounds really, really fun. I'm like looking forward. These will probably be the next Graham Masterton books I read. So there's Night Warriors, and then the follow-up is Death Dream. Death Dream was published in the following year by Tor in 1988. Okay, next we've got Friend by Diana Henstel. This is published by Bantam in 1985, and this was adapted into the classic and crappy Wes Craven movie, A Deadly Friend. So thought it'd be interesting to read the book. I really hope it has the basketball scene in it. And then just for nostalgic purposes, I had to pick this up. You know, good old classic Pet Sematary by Stephen King. This was published by Signet in 1984. And, you know, a story about this one. Back in the day, it was 1992, I believe. I was 10 years old. And Pet Sematary 2 had come out and in the theaters. And I was an avid horror kid, you know, like when I was in elementary school. And I really, really wanted to see Pet Sematary 2 when it was out. And I remember going to my dad. I knew better than to ask my mom. You know, my parents were divorced, and it was like on one of the weekends when I was staying at my dad's. And I said, Dad, there's this movie coming out. I really want to see it, Pet Sematary 2. And my dad, who's like this stodgy professor, he said, Pet Sematary. He's like, yes, that's based on a book, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, you read the book and then I'll take you to see the movie. So I got this book. It was the same edition. I don't think it had that stupid thing on it, but I powered through this thing. I think I read it in like a week or two. And, you know, 10-year-old me reading this thing, I probably didn't understand half of it. But I did read it in time. And, you know, by then, that movie, Pet Sematary 2, wasn't very successful. Like, it wasn't even playing in our town. We had to drive, my dad drove my friend and me to, like, some other town, like 30 minutes away. But I did get to see it on the big screen. And, boy, it did not disappoint 10-year-old me. I had a blast with it. So, yeah. But, yeah, a lot gorier, that movie, the sequel, than the original Pet Sematary. But yeah, great book. One of my favorite King books, probably. Next, we've got Nightblood by Eric Flanders. This was published by Zebra in '93. Little factoid, Eric Flanders is a pseudonym for James Kisner, whose books I have on my shelf, a few of his books. He published a lot with Zebra back in the day. Then we've got The Witching. This one is by Fritzen Ravenswood, and this was published by Zebra in 1989, though it looks like it was originally published in 1980. And when I was looking this one up, the 1980 cover is cooler, I think, than this one. So if you do end up looking this one up, and you know, if you order it, look into the 1980 version. I think that one looks pretty cool. Okay, last pile. All right, we got a few Del Abyss, a few more Del Abyss. I've really been on this Del Abyss kick. We have Bad Brains by Kathy Koja. This one was published in 1992. I'm a big fan of Kathy Koja's The Cipher. I'm interested to check this one out. And there's the step back cover art. Very cool. her books like are expensive, I think, online. Like The Cipher, I own that one. It's one of the many books I have in a box in Ohio. I think that thing goes for like crazy money now or something. Next up, we've got Dusk by Ron D. This was published by Del Abyss in 1991. Then we've got Rapid Growth by Mary L. Hanner. No, it's not a book about my my book collection. This was published by Del Abyss in 1993. And then finally from Del Abyss, we have Nightlife by Brian Hodge. And this one was published in 1991. This is one of those books that is just being charged way too much online, because I think this one was profiled in Paperbacks from Hell. It's kind of a shame that a lot of those books that were profiled in Paperbacks from Hell are just skyrocketed in price. So, it's better to go. Another reason to go to a bookstore, to get these books rather than go online. And then another Brian Hodge book, big fan of the cover here, Dark Advent. This was published by Pinnacle in 1988, and it's got some great artwork. That's beautiful. I would hang that up. I would frame that and hang that up on my wall. Just love that. And then we've got Hellboard, kind of rounding out the Dana Reed collection. This was published by BMI in 1990. BMI basically just, I think, did leisure reprints. So there's that. I'm a big fan of Ouija board books and movies. Then we've got Painkiller by Stephen Spruill. This was published by St. Martin's Press in 1991. Love St. Martin's Press. Published some cool stuff. And then we've got New Moon by William Relling Jr. This was published by Tor in 1987. And finally, the last one, folks. We've made it to the end. Love this title, Resurrexit by Leona C. Cross. This was published by Leisure in 1986. Woo! Yes. So, that's it. That was a total of 34 books today. 34 books. But you know what? The average price, according to my calculations, $2.40 a book. I mean, it's a great value. As I said, hell of a lot cheaper than buying Blu-rays, which I also do buy, not lately, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I clearly I have a problem. My girlfriend is this close to leaving me, and then I'm going to be alone, but I'm not going to be lonely. There is a difference. I mean, who could be lonely with all of these amazing, fantastical books? So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned on my channel. I'm going to have a review coming up. In fact, the original plan was to record my next book review today until this happened. So I'll record that review soon, and there will be another collection video coming up soon, and a bunch of other fun stuff. So if you've watched this whole thing, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.